Your child's future is at risk. The question is, parents, what are you going to do about it? So let's talk about what's happened over the past school year. We're in summer now. I know everybody's tired and exhausted, and we're just thanking God that we have a break from school. But parents, you have to think about next year, the 2021-2022 school year. What are you going to do about next year? So since March of 2020, we all know what happened. Kids did not get their related services. Kids did not get implemented their accommodations. Kids did not receive their specialized academic instruction and their teaching from teachers. Kids did not receive aid support if they had one-on-one aids on their IEPs. Kids with mask exemptions from their doctor. Many of those kids were refused and denied entrance onto the school grounds because they couldn't wear a mask. We saw grade inflation. We saw kids getting passed through, getting A's and B's when they barely did anything over the school year because we were in virtual schooling, and they watered down the expectations and the requirements to get pass with passing grades and just handing out A's and B's like water. That's what happened last year. There was a huge amount of grade inflation, and many kids. It was funny because it was either kids were just being passed through with high grades, or with doing basically nothing, or kids ended up failing because they never came on. They didn't know how to use the virtual technology, and they didn't come to class, and those kids failed. And kids that have high IQs, kids that normally wouldn't fail, failed. So it was either one end of the spectrum or the other, because virtual schooling just didn't work for our kids and really any kids. So regression took place. Our kids failed to receive an education since March of 2020. Many school districts didn't open up till the end of this school year. And then we look at ESY, extended school year, summer school. Many children were denied summer school when really every school district should have just approved summer school for every child because of the regression, because of the lack of education that was provided since March of 2020. Yet that's not what happened for this school year for ESY. So I have a special announcement that I'm going to make tonight, so please stay to the end of this video and so you can hear the special announcement. And please leave your comments below, parents. I want to hear from you about what your experience was over the past school year, what your concerns are, what happened with you and with your child's education this school year. And please like and share this video, because we want to get this video out to other parents who are seeking help and don't know what to do to help their child for the next school year. You know, at the end of the year, I always get parents calling me, but when it gets up to like 2 weeks before the end of the school year, 3 weeks before the end of the school year, the last week of the school year, parents start calling me off the hook because they're upset, they're mad, they're frustrated, their kids didn't do well, their kids didn't get their IEP, and they call me at the end of the school year when school's over to get help. And so parents, I'm gonna give you a resolve and a remedy of what you can do now during the summer, so next school year, you're not gonna have that happen to your child next school year. So in case you haven't noticed, parents, we are experiencing a bifurcation of humanity, of the world. We're in a very strange and evolving time right now. Everybody knows that. You know, I'm talking about special education, but now I'm talking about the bigger picture here. I'm talking about how the federal government is impinging upon our rights through every government system. And that includes special education and the educational system. Our rights are being impinged upon, which what I mean by that is that IDEA, the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, is being watered down. It's being dismantled. It's not oversight has been lessened. They aren't adhering to IDEA mandates and statutes, and they're violating parent rights right and left every day at every IEP meeting. This is what is happening because of what's happening in all across America, as well as the world, with the government impinging upon the rights of the people. So parents, if you don't choose and make the choice to learn how to advocate for your child, then the school district's going to make the choice for you, and that's going to be that your child is not going to get educated, because it was bad before we had COVID and before we had school shutdowns, but now it's even worse. And parents that don't know their rights, don't know how to advocate in an IEP meeting, are not going to get anything for their child, and their child most likely is going to end up not graduating high school with a high school diploma and not having the skills they need to move on after high school to get a job and to go on to college or to go to a trade school or live independently. So that's why I say your child's future is at risk, parents, because if any time in the history of IDEA your child is at risk, it's now. So this is a wake-up call to parents. Wake up and take the time that you need to take to learn your parent rights and how to advocate for your child, because we are seeing the dismantling and the lack of obligation and responsibility and duty for school districts to implement IEPs. So as an advocate, I've seen this happening since March of 2020. I attend at least 5 IEP meetings a week, at least once a day, sometimes 2 a day. So I know what I'm talking about. I work with districts all over Southern California and even in other states, and I see this happening. This is what is occurring now. And so that's why I'm giving the message and the call out to parents and ringing the alarm of parents. You can hire an advocate. You can hire an attorney to come in. You can hire me, or you used to be able to hire me, to come in and work for you and get it done. But what's going to happen when I'm gone? What's going to happen if you hire an attorney when the attorney's gone? You're going to be right back to square one, and they're going to take it all away from you because you aren't going to know your parent rights, and you're not going to know how to sustain what an advocate or attorney won for you. And this is what's happened over and over and over again over the years, even before the pandemic, when parents would hire me and they didn't learn their parent rights, they didn't take my programs to empower them to be able to sustain the program that I gained for them. So they are just getting bolder and bolder with their violations and their blatant disregard for the law and for parent rights. Last year, I saw teachers sitting in IEP meetings just blatantly refusing to implement accommodations, refusing to implement things that were already in the IEP in terms of accommodations, like communication logs, like testing accommodations, like giving extra time on tests or quizzes or assignments, shortened assignments, many of those kinds of accommodations. Teachers were just refusing to do it. And thinking that they weren't held accountable to do it. So, but I do want to say, there's many amazing teachers. It's not all teachers, but there are teachers that refuse to implement IEPs. And again, I always say there's many amazing teachers that are caught in a corrupt system, and it's not their fault. But then there are teachers that don't make it don't help at all and make it worse on parents, and make it worse that we have to fight with them to implement IEPs and possibly even write compliance complaints, because the IEP is a legally binding document, and if it's not implemented, they have violated a federal law. So, so let's talk about the school districts taking advantage of the closures. What do I mean by that? So I mean that, did you receive compensatory education to make up the services that your child didn't get from March of 2020? Did you get make-up services for that time? Probably not. Did you make up for the academic instruction that your child lost since March of 2020? Probably not. Were you denied extended school year, summer school this school year or last school year? You might have been. All of those things is a violation of IDEA and state law. Did your child get higher than usual grades because of grade inflation? Or did your child fail because virtual school didn't work for them and they didn't do anything about it? So child got failing grades at the end of the school year? I saw this over and over with all my clients all year long. A good example, I have one kiddo, he's in middle school, and he has an IQ of 127. So he's very intelligent. He never failed before COVID, and he got all failing grades because he couldn't do virtual schooling, and he has some social and emotional issues and depression, and they didn't do anything about it. And so I had to advocate to make sure that they provided him with mental health services. He had a lot of problems. He was put on medication. He was having suicidal ideology. He was being violent, all because of the school lockdowns. But did the district do anything about it when the parent told them that her son was having these issues? They didn't do anything, and they failed him. And at the end of the school year, he failed. And they almost told him that he wouldn't be able to walk. He was graduating junior high, going to high school next year. And they told him he wouldn't be able to walk because he failed. And so I made sure that that didn't happen, and he was able to walk. But like I said, they're getting bolder and bolder with their lack of obligation and responsibility to serve and help kids on IEPs. So do you think next year is going to get any better, parents? No, it's not going to get any better. It's going to continue this trajectory of what's happening with the abuse of power and the lack of obligation to serve kids in an IEP, and the watering down of IDEA is going to continue into next school year. So as I said, you can hire an advocate or attorney, but as soon as they leave, you're going to be screwed. Because if you don't learn how to advocate, you're going to be going to IEP meetings until your child graduates with high school, or if your child goes on to the adult program, they'll leave high school at 22 years old. And you have an IEP, an annual IEP, every single year until that happens. So if you don't learn your parent rights, if you don't learn how to advocate, you're not going to get what your child needs, and your child's unique needs will not be met. Early intervention is the key, parents. And if you have a small child, and if you're banking on, oh, it's going to get better, and oh, they're going to give me what I need, that early intervention window slides by just like that. Within the window is 0 to 7. And if you wait till your child's in junior high and they're 2, 3, 4 years behind grade level, by that time it's too late. And they're not going to be able to graduate, to earn the credits in high school to graduate with a high school diploma. So my big announcement tonight is that after 24 years of advocating in way more than 3,000 IEP meetings, I lost count a long time ago. It's way up in the thousands of IEP meetings that I've advocated over the past 24 years. I'm not going to be advocating for parents anymore. I'm going to be only offering my coaching and my programs to empower you, the parent, to advocate for your child. And this is going to be so much better because as I said, you're going to have to advocate for your kid for the rest of their school career. You are going to be able to advocate. You'll become the advocate. And I will be coaching you, empowering you, teaching you, encouraging you, and giving you all the tools you need and all the education and knowledge you need to become the best advocate for your own child. It's also going to save you a whole heck of a lot of money because I charge, when a parent hires me to go in and assist them in IEP meetings and advocate for them, I charge $4,000 to $8,000 retainer fee, depending on the complexity and the length of the case. So you're going to, and an attorney charges way more than that. So it's going to save you money if you learn to advocate for your own child, and it's going to empower you to be able to take charge of your child's education and your child's future. So parents, I really hope that you make the decision to stand up for your own child and learn to advocate for your own child. I have a virtual program called the Ultimate IEP, and you go through it at your own pace. You can do it this summer when your child's not in school. And then I have consult packages that go along with the virtual program. So you meet with me and I answer all of your questions and I help you to apply what you're learning to your own child's IEP so you can be fully prepared to go to your next IEP next school year and advocate for what your child needs and fix all the problems that you have right now, that you're really frustrated about, that you're angry about, that you're worried about, that you might be losing sleep about at night, not knowing how you're going to ever help your child to get an education. I'm going to be able to give you all the answers that you need to help you to win and have your local school district approve and give you what you are asking for to meet your child's unique needs. So parents, this is your opportunity to do it, is this summer. Don't lose that opportunity. Don't give excuses that you're tired or it's too overwhelming or you don't have the time, because parents, it's not going to get better. It's only going to get worse. And this is your child's future that we're talking about. Your child's future is on the line. And as I said, this is the time when we have to make a choice. We're either going to be in that group of parents and just individuals in general that sits back and allows our rights to be taken away, or you're going to be a parent that's going to stand up and be a parent warrior and fight for your kid. And so I know I'm talking to the parents, because that's why you're watching me, that are the parent warriors that are going to want to stand up and fight for your child. So I've got all this information. It's on my page under services. If you can't find it, go ahead and message me, and I'd be more than happy to even have a call with you, answer any questions, or help you locate those programs, the virtual program, the coaching packages, and also the Parent Brigade, which is a parent support group. We meet twice a month, and we also talk about IEPs there, what problems you're having. You can have community with other parents that are going through the same challenges as you. So those three things are the ways I'm now going to support you, the parents, to win for your child. And that's going to be my advocacy mission now, to empower you, the parent, to be the best advocate that you can be for your child. So thanks everyone, God bless, and I will see you next Wednesday at my new time for Facebook Lives on Wednesday evening between 5:30 and 6 o'clock, somewhere in there, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye-bye everyone.